Okay, going live simultaneously on both, I guess. Okay, I'm live both on True Keto and on YouTube. So once you get here, if you have a question, ask a question. If not, we'll just hang out. So I'm sure a lot of people have questions. What's going on? Da, da, da. That's fine. Let's ask the questions. Let's air the laundry. Get this over with so we can get back to keto. Hello, everybody. I'm glad you guys are all showing up. Here's the shirt of the day. Game of Ketones. Thinner is coming. If you couldn't see that, I'm sorry. YouTube could see it. Hey, guys. Hello, Kim Hoover. Hello, Lisa. Hello. Hello, hello, Brianna. Hey, guys. Hey, Spivey. How are you? Brianna Kishba or Brianna Kish. Okay. Anybody got any questions on what's going on? True Keto is the only site that I will be at on Facebook. That's it. Now, that doesn't mean I won't do interviews on other ones, or I won't be interviewing other people that have other Facebooks, because that is going to happen. Elizabeth, who's the Countess of Low Carb, she's going to be interviewed on my channel. Yeah, True Keto, Thursday, I think. I'll have to get back to you guys. And I think it's probably around 2:45, something like that, 2:30, something like that. Kelly's here. Candy is here. Michaela, I guess, is here. Katie Shepard is here. Who else is here? Let's see. Waving, waving. Everybody's waving. Love it. Wave. Wave, wave. Hey, guys. Just kind of waving at everybody on the Facebook one. If you guys can share this on your own page or whatever, and we'll talk about keto today. We're not just going to talk about why I left the other site. I just left. I got fed up with it. Anybody got any questions? Candace is here. Everybody's here. All right, good. Deanna's here. Oh. All right. Who else is here? Wave. I like this little wave thing. Anyway, questions. What do we have? Those of you that are very new to keto, I would suggest that you guys check out the YouTube channel. And I don't get paid for the YouTube channel. I'm not monetized, so there is no money coming in for YouTube. So it's just that I made over 100 and some videos for YouTube based on macros, grocery store shopping, menu planning, fats, proteins, carbs, you name it. There's a video on it. Okay. So I just want the new people or the people that are struggling or anybody else that if you have a question about keto, I know there's a lot of new ones. And if you have a question, please check out the videos. There are, and if you have, you want to get involved, say you want to get a friend that's going to help you with keto, absolutely. There's going to be Going Gonzo-KETO or Keto Diet Going Gonzo True Keto. That is the Facebook page, okay? Now, on the Facebook page, it's all consolidated into one, okay? Everything I had and all the other ones, I'm bringing into one. 1 year anniversary for Joni. Good job, Joni. Ketoversary. Awesome. 1 year for you. When did I start it? I started it in February. It's probably been over 5 years or around 5 years or something. 4 years. 4 years. I don't know. But I know it's a lot easier to do the keto diet now than it was back when I started it. Because you guys have all heard this. Back when I started it, there wasn't a lot of people helping with keto. there wasn't a lot of products out there that were helpful for keto, because I tell people this when they ask me about keto at work. I said, basically all it is you're trying to eat the healthiest of the vegetables and you're trying to eat the healthiest of the meats, whatever you can afford, whatever you can get. But you want to keep it for meats and vegetables. That's really what you want to keep it at. The hamburger is usually less expensive than steak, and hamburger is actually better for you than the steak, because the higher fat content. Thanks, Maria Harris. Appreciate that. Hello, Ghost. Ghost is here. Let's see, who else we got? Anybody got questions? Whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, we're simultaneously casting on both. There's my hat too. If you go, what does it say? Once you know you keto. Yeah. Game of Thrones, Thinner is coming. It's just a play. For all you keto, Game of Thrones fans. Good question. Listen, this is why I did it. I didn't know how to make a group page a while back. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't really care to make a group page. I was getting kicked off of pages because people didn't like to hear that I was mentioning you have to increase your fat. Everybody wanted to be, everybody wanted to use let's reduce our calories, let's reduce our fat intake to get into ketosis. And it just wasn't true. I basically mentioned there was a lot of misinformation out there. And that I wanted to try to help as many people as I could to get the proper information out there so that they could get off of these stalls, so they could get started on the ketogenic diet, so that they could understand why they were doing the ketogenic diet, how is it going to help them, what does it, what are the side effects, what are the benefits besides the weight loss, stuff like that. I also wanted to give information on weightlifting because that was my passion that I have done for years. Okay, so I was getting kicked off of lots of groups. And at this stage, I really don't care. I've been kicked out of so many groups, it's ridiculous. And the reason they do it is because they go, well, that goes against what we tell people. Yeah, it goes against what you tell people because you're giving them misinformation. Okay, I don't know where they got half their information, but what I did, so this person, John, okay, he asked me, hey, why don't you just make your own group? And I said, well, I don't really have the time for it. I don't know how to make a group page anyway that's interactive and all this other stuff. And I just didn't feel like I wanted to be overwhelmed with it. He said, hey, I'll go ahead and make the page for you. Okay. And he made the page for me. And then I asked him, I said, well, am I in control of this page? He's like, no, I'll go ahead and take care of the minor things and stuff like that. And everything was fine. But then he started to kick people out of the group that were my friends. And they're asking me, in person, they're like, this guy kicked me out because I asked a question. And I was like, ugh. So I had to go and ask him, why are you kicking these people out? Oh, he offended somebody or she offended somebody. And I was like, listen, it's not your group. Just give me the control of my group and let me dictate who could be in the group, what questions people can ask, because it is my group. And I basically formed the group by helping people, giving my advice. It's my group, it has my name on it and everything else. Fine. I thought it would be handled. He didn't want to then relinquish control of the group. And I've asked him 4 times, dude, just take yourself off the admin, put me back in as the person in control of the group. He wouldn't do it, just wouldn't do it. I asked him so many times. So finally yesterday, I just got fed up because another one of my friends got kicked out, and I asked him about it, or I asked him to relinquish the administrative duties of the page to me and solely to me, and no reply. And I didn't get any reply for 3 weeks on the one time I asked him. So I just decided to leave. All right. So I just said, you know what? I deleted the thread. I left. So I left. I went back to True Keto because True Keto was the site that I created a month ago because I was fed up then, because he was not relinquishing then either. And I asked him over and over again to please relinquish, control. I just didn't want the control. So I want to help people. I don't want to be kicking people out because they asked a wrong question, or they asked a question, or they suggested something, or whatever. It's my group, and I just wanted it to be based on my keto values. And John doesn't know anything about keto. He didn't even start keto until, I don't know, March or something. He's never on that online to get anything done. I would have to ask him to change the picture on the main page. I didn't have any control over the site. So I asked numerous times. I didn't want to be a jerk, but and then yesterday he was like, well, you could have asked in instant message. So I copied the page and I said, look, here it is. I asked you 3 weeks ago and you didn't reply. It shows that you saw the message and you never replied. You didn't bother. So I left the group. I'm only at True Keto and I'm only here on YouTube. So YouTube, this is my channel. If you haven't seen the YouTube channel, it's just Going Gonzo on YouTube. That's all you got to do. You just got to go to YouTube, look up Going Gonzo. And once you get to my page, just click subscribe, click the little bell so you get notifications so that when I do a live like this, you get a notification. Okay, that's it. All right, let's go to questions about keto. Let's go back. I know I saw some. Let me see where the questions are. All right. Maria asks, how do I know if I'm getting enough in fats, protein, and not over my carbs if I don't track somehow? Okay, you do track a little bit. What you should track is you should track your carbohydrates. Okay, you keep your carbohydrates under 20, and a lot of the other stuff will fall in line. Okay, you want to get an idea of how much proteins you are getting in and how much fats. You want to make sure that your fats are usually about twice as much as your proteins. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people that they get those 20 grams of carbs in. Excuse me. Okay, and then they get like 70 or 80 fats and 70 or 80 of proteins. And it's just not the way it works. Okay, you can't kind of 50-50 these things. Okay, you have to. It's a high fat diet. The ketogenic diet is a high fat diet. So get the body to understand that you are now utilizing fat as your energy source. You are now getting rid of glycogen. You're getting rid of it. All right. So once your body realizes you're getting rid of glycogen, it's going to stop making more glycogen for your body to survive on. Okay. Because you have two energy sources. You have glycogen, you have fat. You get all your glycogen from carbs and protein, excessive proteins, and sugar. And you get all your other energy from that are ketones by utilizing your own stored body fat and by utilizing fat that you eat. All right. So you have to give yourself an energy source when you're taking away all the other ones, or you're taking away the carbs and sugars and you want to give yourself another energy source. It's going to be about giving it the fats. So don't be afraid of the fats. Don't be afraid of protein, but be afraid of carbs. Stay away from carbs, and for as much as you can, stay away from sugar. Sugar is not your friend. Sugar will kick you out of ketosis every time. A lot of times people ask me, am I in ketosis? Am I fat adapted? I said, oh, you're losing weight. If you're not losing weight yet and you're stalled out, I'm not going to mention any names, and I probably couldn't name her anyway, but somebody told me yesterday that they were very frustrated and that they weren't losing any weight. And I came down to figure out she's only getting about 900 calories a day in. Okay. You can't cut your calories and still lose weight on the ketogenic diet. You have to eat. And a lot of times it's about you're not hungry, because the hormones under a ketogenic diet are what control your obesity in the first place. And if you stop letting those hormones control your eating habits, then it is hard to eat enough calories or enough food to give yourself the proper energy. But you have to. You're going to have to eat stuff that's really high in fats every meal that you can, because the fats are, to me, are the most important macro. Okay, they're the most important macro you're going to have. So I really need you to focus on those macros, to get those sugars out, to get your salts up, to get your carbs down. It's all in there. Okay, let's see if we got another question. We are having trouble staying focused on keto with so much company. Oh, you guys have company at home, Ann? Well, make them go keto and maybe we'll all learn. Get them on keto. Last 3 days, I haven't counted calories, and so far, so good. I'm liking it, but are tracking my macros for now. Okay, that's fine, Deanna. That's exactly what you should be doing. You should be keep track a little bit of your macros. And a lot of times, you guys remember that the ketogenic diet was based on percentages, okay? It's based on 75% of what you eat should be fat. 20% of what you eat should be proteins. 5% of what you eat should be carbohydrates. It's never really been about this is how many calories you should eat, okay? It's all these apps out there that I hate. You guys know I hate the apps. The apps have done nothing but hurt people on the ketogenic diet because they're trying to dictate a certain amount of calories. They're trying to implement an old style, old failed calories in versus calories out dieting, okay? That never works. What happens is when you cut calories, you cut your metabolism. When you cut your metabolism, you stop losing weight and you stall out. That's what happens. If you guys didn't know that, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. If you are trying to eat less and less intentionally, if you're trying to eat less calories so that you could lose weight, it's not going to work that way, okay? You have to eat to lose weight. You have to eat more and lose more, okay? The more you eat, the higher your metabolism goes. It's in Dr. Fung's book. The more you eat, the higher your metabolism will go, okay? And what will happen is if, like, listen, there was Dr. Fung talks about this too. There's a trainer in the UK. And what he did was he said, I'm going to go ahead and eat 5,800 calories. Okay. That's a lot of calories. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to base it on the ketogenic diet or a low carb diet. I'm going to eat around 20 grams or 10 grams of carbohydrates is what he did. And then he kind of did a little bit more fats, and then just a moderate, fairly good to a moderate amount of protein. It wasn't really super high fats, but it was close. Okay. So he was projected with that diet by eating that many calories that he should have gained 16 pounds over the 21 days that he was doing the study. All right. So he did the study and he gained 2 pounds while he did that. All right. So he gained the 2 pounds, but he lost 1 inch on his waist. So did he lose fat and gain a little muscle? Possibly. So people were just saying, well, you're just a trainer and you're a fitness guy, so anything you eat is going to, be magical for you. Okay. So he said, fine. I'm going to do I'm going to do the diet again for 21 more days. I'm going to eat 5,800 more calories. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it based on like a standard American diet. So he raised his carbohydrates up to about 2/3 of his overall eating. He added in a lot of proteins and he kept his fats low. So he ate a low fat, high calorie, high carb diet. And over that 21 days, he was projected to gain 16 pounds. And he actually did. He gained 17 pounds. But what the other part was he gained 3.5 inches to his waist. Okay. So eating a carbohydrate diet at these high calories proved to him that if he ate more, he would gain weight. Okay. And that mindset is what most people are thinking. I can't eat so much because if I eat so much in keto, I'm going to gain weight like I did when I ate carbohydrates. And what he proved was that if you eat more on a ketogenic diet, that you're not going to gain as much as you think. Okay. All right. Let's see what other questions we got. Okay, we get it now. Focus on those. Yes, I got you. All right. Tell me what the difference is between net carbs and I don't do net carbs because I think they are not accurate. Your feelings on this matter seems a lot of people swear by net carbs. All right, net carbs versus sorry, my fingers are all over the place here. Net carbs versus total carbs. I kind of was in the team of total carbs for a while because Dr. Eric Westman mentioned this. He said some people can digest insoluble fiber, but most people can't. So the idea of a carbohydrate deducting the fiber from it comes from fiber that your body usually can't digest. So there's products out there with, say, they have 19 carbohydrates, but they have, say, 14 insoluble fiber. Okay, always has to be insoluble. Soluble means it's fiber that you can digest. Insoluble means it's fiber that you cannot digest. And all it does is pass through the body. It never gets absorbed by the body. So counting those is kind of just means you're counting something that shouldn't really be counted. So I understood that part, and I'm okay with that. I kind of agree with that. So I admit that when I was telling you only go with total carbs, I like the idea of only going with total carbs for newbies, for very new beginners. And I think that it's best if you do go with total carbs in the beginning. But in the end, once you track your fiber and you track your proteins, and you track your carbs, and you track everything, and you have a full understanding of how to eat properly, and you understand how food's all going to work out. I get it that if you could switch to net carbs, then switch to net carbs. But if you start to gain weight, if you start to feel like you're not in ketosis anymore, then try to go back to total carbs. Okay? All right. Laura says, just started taking MCT oil. Should I be concerned if I feel jittery, or does that calm down once you're used to it? All right. I don't know what you're using MCT oil with. I don't know what kind of MCT oil you're using. There's some MCT oil, C8, C10, and C12. There's some only with C8. There's some only with C8 and C10. I don't know if you're drinking it with your coffee. I don't know whatever else you're adding it to. But usually MCT oil it's a thermogenic, so it's going to speed up your metabolism a little bit. It's not going to store as fat. But it's not really a kind of a it's not really a like aphrodisiac, not aphrodisiac. What is it? Like a amphetamine, whatever. It's not like it's going to speed you up. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Laura. So do you mean BPC? BPC. Not sure what that was all about. So if you have stalls, does your fat intake is not enough? A lot of times that's the problem. I make MCT oil. I make Bulletproof Coffee with my MCT oil. Okay, so it could be the caffeine. It could be the coffee. If you watch Dave Ashby. Dave Ashby is the guy that coined the phrase Bulletproof Coffee. And not everybody really drinks Dave Ashby's brand of Bulletproof Coffee. Dave Ashby, who came out with Bulletproof Coffee, he talks about going with as high quality of coffee as you can get. Because what he explains is that coffee that's usually sold in America has mold on it. We're one of the only countries that allows the coffee beans to have mold on it. And basically all they do is just spray that mold off, and then they go about sending them back out to sell. Where other countries, if it gets mold on it, they throw it in the crapper. It's done. Okay? Now, what he basically says is that if you get a good quality coffee that doesn't allow the mold to be on it in the first place, you're never going to get the jitters from coffee. If that's what's given Laura the jitters is the caffeine or the mold. Okay? But depending on the grade of coffee, sometimes he says it's the mold that actually gives people the jitters, not caffeine. If you drink a quality caffeine, you don't get the jitters. According to Dave Ashby, just passing on the information to you guys. MCT shouldn't make you jittery. Correct, Candace. Tell me what the difference is. Oh, I already went to that one. I use an app, but I ignore the calories. Okay, Candace. But the problem is a lot of times those apps will dictate your macros according to their calculation of calories that you should intake. So they're trying to tell you, okay, only eat this much protein, only eat this much carbohydrates, and only eat this much protein. That's, again, restricting your caloric intake with that, all right? If the app doesn't have calorie calculation in it at all, that's probably the best app to go with, okay? Let's see where else we're at. What is a good high-fat meal? A good high-fat meal, Katie Shepard, is going to be something with like animal fats, avocados, olives, MCT oil is actually pretty good. Butter is an animal fat, all right? So if you find yourself eating a chicken breast, okay? A lot of time a chicken breast is very lean fat, all right? But it's a higher protein. And these are kind of the foods that you want to avoid. You don't want to have to eat a high protein, low fat piece of meat, all right? So that's why a lot of times they suggest that you go with a fattier meat, a darker meat chicken, or a darker meat fish. You also want to go with, say, a fattier piece of meat, red meat, which would be like T-bone or ribeye. Those are the fattier pieces of meat. Or you can go with a hamburger that's going to be mixed in with, they'll take a lot of fat and mix it in with hamburger. And then you don't want to get the really lean cuts of hamburger, because you're going to find somewhere like they're still trying to push the low fat diet, and it's just hurting so many people. So I think most stores are 80-20 on the fat. I've seen some where 75% fat, 25%, or 25% lean, or 75% meat, 25% fat. You know, that's probably the best I think I've seen, 75-25. But mostly what you're going to see is 80-20. All right. And that's fine. But try to go with grass-fed meats as much as you can. It's not that much more. Shared. Thank you. Kara. Thank you, Kara. What's she write here? Let's see. Mary Graham wrote, I use my app to track my macros, but ignore the calories. I think I addressed that. Yeah. All right. I set my protein at 60 grams. See, Mary showed exactly what I was saying. If you're still setting your protein at a specific amount, all right, I suggested a certain amount of protein, I suggested a certain amount of fats, and I suggested a certain amount of carbohydrates to get people to understand how the percentages worked. And maybe this is partially my fault, but I've also always said, eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. And if you do that, you're going to get into ketosis, all right? Because your body is not dumb. Your body is your body, and you are going to know when you are hungry and what to eat, all right? Now, the idea of the ketogenic diet is to understand how to understand what your body's asking. Now, a lot of times if you are hungry, there's a chance that your body is really just thirsty. So drink some water. If it's not near a time when you'll kind of program yourself to eat. A lot of times we get hungry when we program ourselves to eat at a certain time, and we tend to get hungry. So for me, I don't eat a specific time too often. Okay, I don't. I like to. The only time I really do is when I come home from work. I kind of have my bacon and eggs, but I know that that's it's a high protein, high fat, no carb food. And you guys know I eat that almost every day. And then I'll even have a Bulletproof Coffee with it. And that's more fat. So I put in, like today, I had 3 tablespoons of butter. I had 2 tablespoons of MCT oil. That's 500 calories or 500 calories of fat. That's a lot of fat. Plus I had 3 eggs and 3 pieces of bacon. So there's a lot of fat in there, all right? So I don't shy away from the fat, And I will probably have a salad with avocado, with bacon, and a little bit of chicken. Oh, and the point I was trying to make, which I always get myself sidetracked, and I apologize to you guys, was if you end up with a leaner cut of meat, a chicken breast, or a white fish like a tilapia or something like that, put some oil on it. Drizzle it with olive oil, drizzle it with MCT oil. A lot of times you could even take stuff that already has fat in it and drizzle it with MCT oil. MCT oil doesn't have a taste, all right? But it's just going to increase your fat intake. And you don't have to worry about it unless you're counting your fat. Don't worry about how much you put on. Don't say, well, I'm only going to put a teaspoon on. The whole point is get as much fat in, and help yourself. I apologize if I'm not getting to the YouTube, but I'm going to go to it right now. All right. Maria, you can use MCT oil in decaffeinated items, but caffeine is actually very heart healthy. So caffeine helps to taxi fat throughout your blood. Okay, just so you know what caffeine can actually do for you. I add butter if I don't think it's enough fat. Very good, Candace. I agree. That's great. All right. Let me switch over to some of my questions over here on YouTube. Let's see. Can you tell, Claire asked, can you tell me how to work out the percentage, please, as I want to get away from the app. All right. The percentage is it's basically, I usually like to tell people to get their fats to around 200 grams of fats. I usually tell people I want to keep your proteins under 100, and I usually want to tell people to keep their carbs under 20. That's kind of a very good idea of where to keep your food, because I don't want people to cut calories. I don't want you to think that you need to cut calories in order to lose weight, because it's not how it works. All right. Let's see if I can get some of these questions. I know you say about your calories. So you say to be or stay in ketosis, keep your fats up. So if I'm not losing weight and keeping carbs low, should I consider raising my fats? Linda Jimenez says, yes, Lydia Jimenez. Yes, raise your fats up. You will see weight loss. I'm telling you, if you are at a stall and your carbs are low and you're not getting any secret hidden sugars into your diet, or nothing's being screwed up right now, absolutely, it's because your fats are probably too low. All right. And so many people are afraid of fats, and I guess I have a video, and one of my videos says the most important macro is fats. Okay. It's worth watching. Let me see. What else do we have? Fasting ketone. Fasting ketones 1.1, but I have gained weight. Too much protein and not enough fats, I think. It could be, Candy. It could be. I guess most of these are, you guys are talking to each other. Lydia says, see, I've been doing this for 2 years. I am at a 6-month stall, admittedly, and I was lazy keto for a while, but I'm back working out 2 to 4 times a week and not losing. Okay, here's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about, the ketogenic diet and working out. It's really hard for your body to utilize fat as an energy source until you're fat adapted. And then it's really hard for your body to get fat adapted while you're working out, because your body wants to process more energy, and an easy energy source for your body is going to be sugar. Okay. It's a quick energy. It's easy for your body to make, and fat is not. Fat is a very hard energy source to adapt and tap into. So that's why we tend to, our body will actually tend to shut things down while it's fasting before it tries to go utilizing fat for energy. Or it would be just totally so easy to just stop eating altogether, and our body will just use up all of our fat. It just doesn't do that. Okay. It'll use some of your fat, and over a long period of time, it will use your fat eventually. but it'll also shut things down. You're going to get cold. You're going to get tired. You're going to get hangry, like angry. Okay. You might get sick. Your immune system might go down. Okay. So what you really want to focus on is you want to focus on keeping those calories up, keeping the fats at a good level so that your body knows to utilize fat as energy. And then once you start to lose weight, okay, you could bring the fats down just a hair, okay? You don't have to keep the fats real high all the time, all right? I want you to get the pump primed, teach the body to utilize fats, get yourself fat adapted, adjust your fats accordingly, adjust your carbs to where you can handle carbs. And it's, are you ever going to go back to doing carbohydrates? It's this in a safe manner. It's like taking a heroin addict and saying, okay, you're off heroin now. You're not going to kill yourself on heroin, but now that you're clean and good, maybe you can go back on heroin once a week or something like that. No, it just doesn't work out. Maria, I think peanut butter is not a good idea. I'm not a big fan. There is other options out there. Almond butter. There's sun butter, which is a sesame seed butter or a sunflower butter, or whatever it is. I can't remember. It's probably a sunflower butter. All right. What else we got? Because I heard, by the way, Maria, I heard that peanut butter is not as digestible as some of the other butters that are out there. Okay, good. All right. Am I good with fasting? Yes, I'm okay with fasting. When you are fat adapted, do not try to rush the fast. Okay, I made a little thing about it. Don't rush the fast, because what's going to happen is if you try to fast before you're fat adapted, and no, there's no test to find out if you're fat adapted. It's kind of on you whether you know you're fat adapted or not. All right, we'll get into that in a minute too. Fasting needs to be intermittent. Fasting means periodic fasting. Fasting here, fasting there. It doesn't mean that you're going to fast for 3 or 4 days. All right. Fasting first means, and this is the one I think you should do almost immediately, whether you're fat adapted or not, and that's cut out the snacks. Stop eating the snacks in between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The most meals you should be eating a day are going to be 3. Depending on how many hours you're awake, 3 should be your max number of meals. And if you can't make it from one to the other, it's because you're not eating enough fat to sustain yourself for one meal to the next. Now, eventually, you're going to get fat adapted, and you're going to be able to sustain the fast longer than by not being fat adapted. All right, you're going to get better at it because your body's going to be adapted to fat. It's going to start utilizing your own body fat. So when I say I stop eating tonight at 6 o'clock, I could not eat it. I don't have to eat again. Honestly, I probably don't have to eat again for a couple days, and I won't feel hungry, and I'll feel my energy level pick up higher and higher. But I'm not saying that you're going to be able to do that. So eventually, I think it's good that the longer you have in between a meal, the lower your insulin's going to be, which is our goal. We want to keep our insulin low, but we don't want to put ourselves into a starvation mode where our metabolism is now being screwed up. We want to be in a fat adaptation mode where our body is utilizing fat for energy. It's dipping into our fat storage. It knows that fat is our own energy source because we've been feeding it good fats. We've been teaching it to utilize fat. We've been teaching it that we're not going to give it any carbohydrates. And usually to get into fat adaptation, will take 4 to 6 weeks of very perfect keto. I know that's really rough for some people to know, but it's not an easy thing to get fat adapted, or everybody would just instantly be fat adapted. It's pretty easy to get into ketosis, okay? I want you guys to understand that. It's not hard to get into ketosis. You can get into ketosis a couple different ways. You could either get into ketosis by fasting for 24 hours. You're in ketosis because you no longer have any stored carbohydrates. You have you no longer have stored sugar because your body doesn't store them for very long. And it's going to require some sort of energy. So when you start giving it fats, yes, you're in ketosis. But is the body utilizing those fats for energy? Not right away. It's not going to utilize fat for energy right away. So what it's going to feel like is that it feels like you're kind of starving yourself. So yes, it's going to decrease your metabolism a little bit. It's going to decrease your what's called a basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of food your body needs to maintain energy levels and keep your body core temperature at a certain degree, to keep your thinking at a certain level, to keep your energy levels at a certain height. Okay. Now for me, I have no issues with energy. As you can see, I'm just sitting here rattling, and I move my hands all the time. And I don't eat as much as I used to, which is why I just know that I'm fat adapted. And it's not something that you could just say, oh, I pricked my finger, I'm in ketosis. Yes, you could prick your finger and be in ketosis in the morning if you ate carbs the night before, because now they're burned out of your system. Or, oh, by the way, the other way to get into ketosis is to try to exercise on a fasted diet. Say you woke up, you didn't eat, maybe you ate at 10 o'clock that night, you wake up at 6 a.m. You may not be in ketosis yet, but if you exercise and you burn off a lot of stored glycogen that may still be in your muscles, or glycogen that may still be in your liver, then what's going to happen is you've now put yourself at a deficit, and you don't have any carbohydrates in you, you don't have any stored sugars in you, you don't have any stored glycogen. So now your body is going to be in ketosis. All right, but it still takes a while for the body to stay in ketosis all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to cycle yourself and get out of ketosis on these carb up days. That's just, it's like the whole heroin thing. You've gone through rehab and you said, okay, I'm not on heroin anymore, but now I'm just going to have one cheat day. Okay, we all know what happens if an alcoholic has one drink, or if or a drug addict goes back and takes drugs one time, or if a sugar addict goes back and takes sugar. There's a chance that your body's going to go back to that addiction. All right, that's why I don't believe in cheat meals. That's why I don't believe in cheat days. That's why I don't believe in carb ups. I don't think that taking yourself out of ketosis and then working a couple of days to get back into ketosis is somehow healthy. I just don't. All these questions that are on YouTube, that are on Facebook, I will go back through these questions, you guys, and answer them. So if I don't get your question live, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Lydia Jimenez asks, I'm cold, tired, and hangry all the dang time. Lydia, your metabolism is decreased. That's why. You are taking too low of calories for your body, so your body has shut down many things. All right. Dr. Fung explains the whole caloric in versus caloric out, the whole raising and lowering of your metabolism. All right. How you doing? He basically talks about it like this. If you're a factory that's utilizing coal and you get 2,000 pounds of coal delivered to you and you burn 2,000 pounds of coal, it's great. Okay. Now, if you start to get 1,000 pounds of coal, you can't still burn the 2,000 pounds of coal. Your body's going to reduce down, your factory is going to reduce down to that 1,000 pounds of coal. So it decreases. Now, say you increase your coal delivery to 4,000 pounds of coal. Now your body, instead of only staying at 2,000 pounds of coal or burning whatever, it's going to increase and go to 4,000. So your metabolism needs to be fixed. When you start the ketogenic diet, half of the goal of a ketogenic diet is to fix your body, is to get the fat out of your liver, get the fat out of your pancreas, okay? Rejuvenate those organs, fix them, fix your body from the inside out, the faster your body can utilize fat for energy, the cleaner you can get your liver by giving it fat, by giving your gallbladder a reason to function. So many people have lost their gallbladder. So many people have lost their gallbladder because they don't eat fat. The low-fat diet people, I've talked to a couple of my friends at work, and I say, all right, you're going to process fat, da, da, da. He says, well, I had my gallbladder up because I was eating too much fat. No, you had your gallbladder moved because you weren't eating enough fat. When you eat fat, the gallbladder helps break down fat by storing bile that the liver made. And if you don't eat enough fat, the gallbladder doesn't contract to secrete the bile to help break down that fat so that your body can digest it and break it down into your lower GI, down into your intestines, and distribute it for energy. So a low-fat diet will kill your gallbladder. A low-fat diet, high carb, will destroy your liver. You will be diagnosed with a fatty liver when you are 90% gone. When your liver is 90% gone, it will record, and your doctor will say, you have a fatty liver. That means it's already only 10% left of your liver is functional. The benefit of that is you can function on a very small amount of your liver. It's not the best, but you can still function. And the other benefit is that if you decide to fix it by eating a very good ketogenic diet, a green enriched, higher fat kind of diet without storing a lot of glycogen and sugar, your liver will come back from the dead and it will start functioning properly, guys. It will start functioning. Claire, you have a lot of questions, and I'm glad. I see it. Claire is one of my busiest people on YouTube, and I really appreciate her. Claire, you can't get any higher than 0.3 on a keto reading. That's because your fats are too low. Your body doesn't even know to utilize fat. I could go right now and check and drink a Bulletproof coffee, and my ketones will go up through the roof. Okay, it's like I'm eating some sort of exogenous ketones because I'm giving very easy to process fats. MCT oil is a very easy to process fat, and it's going to show up almost immediately on my ketones, and it's going to bring my ketone level up because now I just gave my body a very easy energy source to make ketones with. And when I drink a Bulletproof coffee, my ketones are going to go really high. Okay, they're going to get into the 3s and the 4s, 4.0, not the 0.3s and 0.4s. But does it mean that I'm utilizing fat as an energy source off my body any quicker? No. Ketosis is 0.5 to 3.0 and even beyond that. So let me see. Claire also says, I'm keeping my carbs under 20 grams, protein around 80, and my fats at 100 just because the app I was using told me so. Yeah, throw that app away. The fats might just be a little too low. Get your fats, Claire Heyman, get your fats to about 150. Try it out there. If you're still not losing weight, honest to God, it's not about lowering your fats, not about lowering your carbs. Increase your fats again. Okay? Get the body to utilize fat as an energy source by giving it some fat. Teach the body to utilize fat as an energy source. Don't reduce the fats and say, well, I'm going to get my body to utilize fat as an energy source by not giving it any fat and by not giving it any carbohydrates. Because all you're doing really is you're putting your body into a starvation mode. You're reducing your basal metabolic rate. You're reducing your metabolism. And all you're going to do is you're going to lose weight a little bit, but you're going to stop losing weight because you can't, because it's just going to stop. It is. It's just going to reduce down. You're going to be stalled for months and months and months. It's because your metabolism is so low. And you're eating so low calories that nothing even matters. You're just kind of maintaining. How do you test for ketosis? With a blood test. You can't really test for ketosis with urine strips. I know that they're popular because they're cheap. As far as a cheap glucometer, I usually recommend the Keto Mojo. It's the cheapest one I found. The test strips are very, very, very cheap. But a blood test is a little prick on the finger is the only way to test for ketones. Okay, it's the only way. What you get on a urine strip is acetone. Acetone is only one of the three bodies of ketones. You have beta hydroxybutyrate and you have acetate. And I think it might be just acetate that shows up on the strip. Acetone or acetate. It's one of the two. But you're only showing one of the three. Once the body is not just losing or utilizing or breaking down some of your body fat and peeing out most of it, those urine strips are done after that. They're just done. Claire says, there's me thinking because my readings are going down after I barely rise. I'm not doing it right. There's a lot of people that aren't doing this right, Claire. A lot of people. Hi, Cindy. Cindy Brown. All right. Maria Harris. Bunny. How to be sure you're fat adapted? Candy asks. How to be sure if you're fat adapted? Okay. Here's a couple of the ways that you can kind of tell that you're fat adapted. You're losing body weight. You're very high energy. You could bounce back from eating a carbohydrate so fast that sometimes I could eat a carbohydrate that I know would have bounced me out of ketosis in my first 2 months of being, totally out of ketosis. I could bounce right back in probably within a couple hours. Okay. It's one of the benefits of being fat adapted. My body now prefers fat as an energy source. I know it does. Okay. There just isn't a test that tells you whether your body is fat adapted. There's only a test to tell you if you're in ketosis. And ketosis is the first step of being fat adapted. So it's a really positive thing that you are in ketosis. Very positive. Okay. So I don't want you to think that if you just test for your ketosis on a blood test, yeah, if I test any day or night, I'm in ketosis. I know then I'm fat adapted. Okay. If I don't eat anything in the morning and I wake up and I check my blood sugar and I check my ketones, that's the best time to check your ketones and your blood glucose is when you haven't eaten for a period of about 12 hours, and you could test them and see where you're at. If your blood sugar is still under 100, that's great. Your body's not creating any sugar for energy, okay? Because now your blood sugar is down below 100. And if you could check your ketones and they're above 0.5, that means your body's creating fat into energy source. So your energy is now ketones. That's pretty good, pretty good manner of ketosis, or pretty good idea that you are in ketosis and you're in there pretty good. Now you have to continue that very good process, very strict, by not getting out of ketosis. Don't let the body think, oh, I could switch back to sugars anytime I want. You have to force that body to utilize that fat as an energy source and stay with it, okay? Which is better, MCT oil or MCT powder? Depends on what you're using it for, Sonia. MCT oil is great at home because it's easy. You can keep it right on the counter. You pour it right into your drink. It works really, really good. MCT powder, if you don't have the use of a blender when you're going to do coffee, fine. Use the MCT powder and you can mix your coffee better with it. Now, with MCT powder, usually what I found is an MCT powder is usually half as potent as the oil, meaning you have to do 2 servings of the MCT powder to equal 1 serving of the MCT liquid. Deanna asks, how much MCT oil can you have in a day? It depends on how much you have, how many bottles of it you have. It's up to you. If you're hungry, put it on anything. Get your fats in. If you're going to eat a salad, put some fats on that salad. Get your fats up. Do you know if seeing oil film floating in urine is a sign of ketosis? No, I never heard of that. Honestly, I never heard of that. Because Michelle, your kidneys should be filtering the fats. The liver should be filtering the fats. The fats are going to go through your intestines. Your kidneys are then going to filter water. If you're peeing out some sort of oil, I don't know if that's good. You heard that a long time ago. It's something I might not have ever really thought about or heard from. Okay, Claire, you could try the 200, 120. That's great. But go to the 150, 80, 20 for now, and then see how your body reacts, and then go up again from fats. Hey, Steve, good afternoon from Chicago area. Hey, Pam from Chicago. I miss Chicago. I love Chicago. Lunch is tuna. Tuna is a white fish, Claire. You got to watch it. Okay. A lot of people do add a lot of good salad dressing to that. But again, that's not very good animal fat. So you want to try to get the fattier meats so that you get a fattier, the fat benefit of eating fat animal fat. All right. MCT oil is just not an animal fat. It's a great energy source. It's a great oil to take in. It's coconut oil, basically. A lot of times it's coconut oil. Sometimes it's coconut oil and palm oil. All right. We are down to 9 people on the Facebook. What happened? Is nobody else watching on Facebook? Okay. Maybe I'm just too boring. All right. Oily looking urine is a sign of dehydration. Okay. There you go. Cindy Brown. Cindy Brown always has a good answer. Her and Spivey. And has anybody seen Delaney? I haven't seen Delaney in days. Maybe she's on vacation or something. Claire says, I use pure C8 oil. Is that better than the ones with C10 and C12? It's better than the ones with C12. Okay. C8 and C10 are both medium chain triglycerides. They don't need bile from the liver to be processed into an energy source. There's Delaney, just as I spoke up. There she is. I just haven't seen you in a long time, Delaney. I was just wondering about you. Just asked. Kelly says, mine's cloudy on the afternoon. I don't know what that means. I know it's your urine, but I don't know what that means. A sign of dehydration is yellow urine. Okay. Mental vacation. Yeah. Let's see. From tomorrow. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? Oh, Kelly Flack asked, need blood tests for life insurance. Word cholesterol, triglycerides will be too off. Not your triglycerides, Kelly. Once you go into keto for a period of about 3 months, your triglycerides are going to get well under control. Okay. Now, the issue could be that your LDL cholesterol might appear to be too high in the beginning of the ketogenic diet, usually about 6 months. All right. Because you are utilizing fat as an energy source. So there is going to be fat in your blood, which is going to make it look like your LDLs are a little higher. But if your triglycerides are under 150, that means that your LDLs are not made up of the bad LDL. So regardless of what your insurance company says, maybe they should get a better way of testing for cholesterol. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not a doctor, but I've studied enough about cholesterol and listened to enough of the experts that are good at knowing what cholesterol is. And cholesterol has nothing to do with heart disease, period. Okay? So if an insurance company is still focused on utilizing cholesterol as a fear factor on your health, then I don't know, take them to court. Make them prove it, because they can't. You could prove that cholesterol has nothing to do with a heart attack, but sugar does. So, it's just something to think about. Let's see. Lion mane mushrooms are excellent, Patty. They are excellent. Lion's mane mushrooms. It's a good. I just bought mushroom coffee recently. I think it's my second batch. Mushroom coffee is pretty good. Where are we at? Good topic, though. Patty, good topic. How can you tell if your MCT oil is 8, 10, or 12? It'll say it on the bottle. It should. All right. If it doesn't, it's probably C8, C10. That's what I've learned. They don't always say, but a lot of them do. A lot of them are proud of that they're only C8 and C10, and some of them don't realize that saying that something is C8, C10, and C12 is not something to be proud of. Now, I'm not saying that C12 is a bad MCT oil. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad oil, triglyceride, because it is a good one. It's just not good for energy, all right? It's not good for a quick energy. C12, even though it's called an MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride, it doesn't work like a medium chain triglyceride. A medium chain triglyceride doesn't need bile from the liver to be processed into an energy source, which is why when I use MCT oil in my coffee, I want that energy right away. I don't want to have to wait for it. And then if I have a MCT oil with C12 in it, I'm having to wait for that energy to come get built up and get created and get filtered and get processed, okay? Where when I do C8, C10 MCT oil, that energy is pretty much instant. It's just instant. All right, where are we at? Pam Grosso says, good drink is mushroom coffee, cacao, coconut oil, or coconut milk, and stevia with MCT. Yes, that's a great right there. Pam Grosso's Bulletproof Coffee is right there on Facebook or on YouTube. Good drink is mushroom coffee, cacao powder, coconut milk, stevia, and MCT oil. It works for me. It's awesome. If you want my version of Bulletproof Coffee, I add an egg to my Bulletproof Coffee almost every morning. I add an egg to it, a raw egg. No, it's not cooked. I get that question. I don't know why people think you would put a cooked egg in your coffee. I don't know how that would even work out. That's just weird. But I guess it's no weirder than them thinking that you put an egg in your coffee. But when you put an egg in coffee and you have it and you blend it up, you don't see that egg. You don't taste that egg. It's like it's not even there. But it is a little bit boost in your protein. It will add to your satiety. It will keep you less hungry for longer throughout the day because protein keeps your hunger at bay. Protein and fat will keep your hunger down. Yes, Spivey. Answer to Kelly's cloudy urine. I didn't want to mention that. Raw egg is no different than making eggnog with raw egg. Very true. Raw eggs are good in a fat shake. Yes, they are. All right, where are we at? If you count carbs. Okay, good. No infection. Good. All right. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for showing up for the Q&A. I want to thank everybody for being on the True Keto Facebook page. If you're still on the other one, that's your choice. I would prefer that you're not on that one anymore because I just prefer it. I built that other page with all my comments. I built that page with all my advice, and I just don't want somebody else using my advice, my name, and stuff to build his own page. For whatever reason, he wants to keep that page. It's up to him. All right, but we are now focused on keto, on True Keto. We are now focused on Gonzo's YouTube channel. We are going to get people fat adapted. We are going to get people to lose weight. We are going to get people out of their stalls. Remember, True Keto is also going to give you guys meal plans. I have meal plans for people that want them. I have exercise plans. These are all basic ones. I have stalls, things that can help you with a stall, things that can help you get started. Take a lot of this advice that I give you guys, because this is stuff that's worked. I've been doing it for a long time. I've been teaching, I've been helping, and a lot of this stuff will work, okay? You just have to watch the videos, watch my videos on YouTube. There's a lot of answers out there. Ask questions on True Keto Facebook page. Get informed, because the more informed you are, the more chances of success at the ketogenic diet you are going to have. On YouTube, if you're on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up. Please load this thumbs up. I need as many thumbs up as I can get. The more thumbs up you get on a YouTube video, the I don't know. There's something about it, but you guys do what you can to do. Please like my keto Facebook group too. Please tell your friends. Please share. And I will see you guys soon. I'll see you whenever you guys ask for me. All right. I am going to close one of these down now. Figure out how to close it down real quick. Okay. I'm closing down YouTube, I think. Let me make sure. Let me just adjust it here. All right. Make it fit the screen better. All right. Oh, where is it? Yep, keep piling on those likes. Keep piling them up. There, shorten it down. Extend the page down. It's not extending. It's stuck. You can see it's